Hello, how is everybody doing? Everybody survived Christmas? My Christmas day was quite quiet. It was nice with just the kids. Had the 26th to kind of relax. Yesterday was something else, and I will get into that. But wow. I'm just going to talk like a short video. It's about 6 minutes of my year in review. I'll probably do another one, just YouTube stuff on New Year's Eve, but I'll do a little bit video to play on my year, and I'll talk about yesterday. Let's see who we got in here. Nick P was in early at 5:30. 2023 was a great year for me. I finally made my return to Europe after nearly 3-year delay. Excited about the new year, possibility of meeting friends in Canada, and of course our friends down in the cruisers in Australia. That's going to be quite the trip. And we got Danny in here. Hello, Danny. We got Roxanne. She's sitting at the airport, ready to fly out home to Georgia. You ready to get on the plane any second now. We'll wish you a safe flight home. Danny's saying, nice to stay safe. Doing good, relaxing. Your brother and his girlfriend arrived yet? Is that supposed to be? Yesterday, my cousin who lives, hello, Sean, welcome in. My cousin who lives across the Blue Water Bridge in Port Huron invited several of her family, include like her mom and dad and her siblings and her kids, myself, and then another good friend and her kids over for a Christmas gathering. We were meeting up at they're in not apartments, but they're like not row houses either. They're like small townhouses, like one floor though, And then they built a new community center, so they rented the community center to have a just get together, and we had snacks and we played some games. I won a few little prizes. However, my uncle was picking me up. My uncle and his wife were picking me up to head over about 1:30, and then I get a message, can we pick you up at 1 p.m.? Apparently the delay on the bridge was about 90 minutes. So that's fine. I can go at 1 instead of 1:30. That works for me. We got on, like, I'm just down the road here from on ramp to the highway to go over to the bridge. We got on the on ramp onto the highway at 1:07. We got to the hall at 3:47. 2 hours and 40 minutes to get over the bridge. I was like, there's never usually a delay like that. Well, apparently somebody that arrived later said, they had closed the bridge for a while, like 45 minutes or something like that. So I was looking it up today because the excuse I heard, I was like, really? So the U.S. Geological Survey said a 2.4 magnitude earthquake hit near the Michigan-Canadian border Wednesday morning around 9:47 a.m. About 3 kilometers southwest of a little town here. So it's about less than 15-minute drive. It's across from Marysville and St. Clair, Michigan. So they had closed the bridge. So that's why it was all backed up. Like, some took 90 minutes to get over. Some took almost 3 hours to get over. I think we were 2 hours and 40 minutes. And that was quite the adventure. I haven't seen my uncle and his wife in a long time, so it gave us time to catch up in the car we're going over, and they're considering going on a cruise. Their son, or my cousin, and his wife have invited them to go on a Disney cruise. That should be interesting. I was looking up, must be on the Disney Magic, because they're going out of New Orleans. So they're trying to figure that out today. So I was excited for them because the ports they're supposed to be going to are Progresso and Cozumel. Same ports as Amy's cruise. So excited to hear about that. See, we've got some new people in here. Oops. Back up here. We had down under cruisers come in. We got Josh and maybe Chastity, but they're at a movie. I'm just home chilling, just fed my doggy, and we'll be playing Mario Party after dinner. We went to see Dreamgirls last night, and dinner. We had fun. Tomorrow we're taking them to New York. And why? Hope you had a great Christmas. Yes, I had a good Christmas. It's quiet with just the 4 kids. They're not really kids, young adults. Hello, Georgianne. Danny saying, what's up, Josh? Saying hi there. Eating supper and listening. I just had snacks. I didn't feel like heating up leftovers, so I've been crackers and cheese and kielbasa. And also tell Jess, hi. Yeah, I'm gonna say hi to Chastity. So then we went out for dinner, and my apologies to Amy. We went to Texas Roadhouse. Now, Texas Roadhouse, you can't make reservations. You can call when you're on your way and check in when you get there, but you can't make reservations. So whatever. We got there we left her place at 6, so it was just shortly after 6 we got there. We finally got seated at 10 to 7, and we got our dinner about 10 to 8. And the food was decent. I had a decent steak. I had just a 6-ounce sirloin with some steak fries and some green beans and a Arnold Palmer was made with sweet tea on the side. It was good. So when we left, it was probably almost 9 when we got to the border coming back. Got over the bridge, no problem, and maybe waited. I think we were about 10 minutes. We got right up almost to the booth, and we were behind a vehicle from Texas, Texas license plates. And they were questioning the people ahead of us for a good 5-6 minutes at least. Then we got up there, and it was a. I'm not saying anything, but it was a female, and she was kind of in a mood. She was kind of snotty, but I guess that's their job. Going over after sitting on the bridge forever, we had a really nice young guy with a personality, and she chatted with us. But after I say to my aunts, it's like, or my uncle and that, as I was talking about going over with V and Steve, it's like, don't give them any information they don't ask for. Where are you going? This is where we're going. This is where we're from. You don't get into little chatty things, because then they start asking more questions, and then the next thing you know, you're pulled over for no reason. So, but it was like, young guy just, scanned the 3 passports, and one of them was, he was having problems with them. I was like, just praying it wasn't mine. I've had issues before with my married name. I'm on my maiden name now, but my married name. And I was like, please don't be a problem with my passport. I've dealt with that before. But everything was fine. And we got home. And about 11 o'clock, I'm sitting in the living room. My youngest and girlfriend are downstairs. No, actually, my youngest had gone upstairs to bed. His girlfriend was downstairs. It sounded like somebody trying to come in the back door. I'm like, what the heck's going on? I thought, well, maybe it's what I call my adopted son, or my third son. Sometimes he drives by unexpectedly. So I'm like, well, maybe. And I'm just going to get up, and the door opens, because I had it locked. And it was my oldest walking in, followed by my adopted son and his girlfriend. So we had a nice visit for about 2 hours. Apparently they had gone out for dinner and had a few drinks, and my oldest was feeling no pain. So came and sat and chatted for quite a while till my oldest was sobered up, and then they all left. But it was a nice visit. So that was about 1 a.m. when I finally come up to bed. But yesterday, it was a long, exhausting day, but I had a great day. Got to see my cousins and my 2 nieces and my nephew I haven't seen for a while. It's good to see them. Everybody's saying hello, hello, hello. Oh, Roxanne's on the plane. Okay. So what I will do my little video. This is just my year in review. There's a little bit of everything in there. There we go. So close that off. Stop screen. Stop sharing. Okay. Put me back full screen, silly thing. Here we go. That was just yeah. Like that. Well, you love the wording on the back of that truck. Yep. That was me and Steve and I went across to pick up Kenny when he was at Crystal's, and we stopped to get gas first, and that truck was ahead of us. And we were having a good laugh out of that one. And some days I feel that way. Oh, and message there, that $1 million word you were trying to figure out there, Busby, called caustic chondritis. And don't ask me how I know that. Being in the medical field before, and both of my kids had it at one point in time, which is an inflammation in the cartilage in the chest. And it's quite painful. Howdy Busby. Hi Roxanne. Hey Jocelyn Chastity. Yeah, still can't say it. I've said it many times. That's the reason I can say it. Costa chondritis. Can't spell it though. So that was pretty much my year there. I glitched there towards the end or Halloween. We had M23 in there. I had some winter stuff in there. I had we came back from on 23. That was my laundry room that was dug up there, all to fix an issue in the other two units beside me. What issue wasn't in my thing, but they sure made a heck of a mess. What else was in there? A lot of LARP stuff. Oh, and an update on LARP. I was talking to my oldest, was saying last night that they're only going to take a year off. So we take this year off, then go back next year. Except we may be going to, at least for the day, in June. Because in June they have the Einherjar, which is like a cross between like a Viking and a Celtic race. They have a moot. And I have missed it the last 2 years because we've been on the Shaper team, and never thought, like 2 years ago, it was like, oh, didn't know that was happening in June. And then this past year came up in June, and a couple of my friends from 2 buildings down who also play Einherjar, they came to that event and for the moot, and I was like, heck, I could have brought my stuff and dressed up in my stuff and got in as character for a few hours. So we may do that in June, at least go for the day, if not the weekend, but so that I can at least participate. Especially when I've added some stuff to my character. But when we go back in sometime next year, then I will be playing my character again. And probably when we do an NPC shift, I will volunteer to do the Photo Ninja stuff, so I can get some videos and stuff at that point. Yeah. Hydrocephalic, I could say. Myelomeningocele is the other one. Hello, James. How are you doing? Yeah, the pictures I took at Bronner, the Christmas decorations. I decided to put cruise ones there. I took a little cruise ship. There was like a margarita with a lime in it, and need my vitamin C, aka spina bifida. Well, I remember going through all the tests to rule out that stuff, all the maternal serum screen, because I know my cousin, the one that had the dinner, her second daughter, when she was pregnant with her, she had to go through extra stuff because they thought that Emily may have spina bifida, but she turned out it was fine. Well, she later went on and got leukemia, but not related. And then with my youngest, when I had the stuff done, I had to go for extra stuff and had an amniocentesis because they thought that my youngest might have had Down syndrome, but everything was fine. So sometimes it's good to know that stuff ahead of time. Sometimes it's like, is it going to make any difference? I wouldn't have ended the pregnancy, so too bad. My ex would have had to deal with it or fail like he did. Anyways. So anybody got plans for the New Year's? I don't know if we're doing anything New Year's Eve or not. I kind of left it up in the air. I might bring that up tomorrow in my Facebook chat thing with my kids, whether they want to do something or not. I don't know if my youngest is working. I thought the dispensary worked out closed for, Christmas and New Year's. Nope, they were open on Christmas, and they will be open on New Year's. They're open 365 days a year. I think they shorten their hours on Christmas Day and New Year's Day, but aside from that, a lot of doors opening and closing down there. I'm wondering if somebody got takeout. Because again, you still hear the dog walking around. And all that's left is ham. All the sides are all gone, so I wouldn't be surprised if they got takeout. James super fast texting support. James says we're traveling west. Hi, Callie. Guess what? I'm not going anywhere, so you can park your butt. Good dog. Oh, my cousin got a puppy. I don't know if I can bring up the picture or not. He was super cute. I can get a picture up. Not sure what. I think there might be some yellow lab in there. Oops. But that is Jasper. He's only 2-3 months old. Ham is on the carnivore diet. Well, I'm not going to eat the whole ham that was left. There is a lot left on that. I am going to finish carving because it's a spiral ham, but it seems like only part of it's spiral cut. So I'm going to cut the rest off and probably use the bone. And I know my mom used to make like bean soup, ham and bean soup. This looks a little fuzzy. I am trying out my new, that thing, camera. It's looking a little fuzzy. Because it's a 1080 something or other. But I can't go up to 1080 on StreamYard because they'll charge me for that, and I'm not paying for it. Let's see if I'm gonna bring that down a little bit so it doesn't look so fuzzy. If that makes any difference. Now I'm going to spin around here. That's a little less fuzzy. Okay. We will be doing everything's bucket list. A trip in Australia. Oh wait, we live here. Kisses. No, Nick with P was in earlier talking about his trip to Australia. That would be a bucket list. I'd have to win the lottery though to be able to go down there, so I could afford flying down there and afford staying down there for a while. Because there's places I would like to see you guys, but I also like to go up to Australia Zoo as well, because that would be my son's dream thing to do. He was a very huge Steve Irwin fan as a young kid. What else is going on? I know we got a cruise-a-thon coming up in February. So I got my shirt on. Right, the flight to Australia hasn't got any short yet. Yeah, if I was going to have to stay put in something for a long time, I'd rather take the flight to the West Coast there and take a cruise over. Or at least I can get up and move around, go get something to eat, go use the bathroom, and not be in some little tiny cubicle this big around. But that would be a big... Can't wait for the cruise-a-thon. Weekend of February 9th, 10th, I believe. Gotta figure out what I'm going to do there. We gotta do some stuff. We gotta raise some money. Of course, you can do. Anybody tuning in, you can watching this on the replay. You can donate to Helping Hands for Cruising anytime. You go to Helping Hands #4 cruising.org, and there's stuff right there where you can donate to the PayPal, or if you buy any merch, like a T-shirt. I want to order a backpack yet. That'll be in the new year sometime when I get expenses paid from Christmas. I'm gonna order a backpack so I can use that for the cruise. Looking forward to the cruise in October. It's a Helping Hands for Cruising group cruise on the Carnival Breeze. Amy from Amethyst Haze Adventures is hosting that. It's a put a lime in it group cruise, October 21st to the 26th, 2024, out of Galveston, Texas. If you're interested, you can contact Amy Kephart, KEPHARTYT @gmail.com. She's the TA for that, or you can also book through somebody else. And if you want to be part of the group cruise, just let Amy know. We'll include you in the group cruise. Words are hard. I am sharing a cabin with Amy. I'm excited about that because we have a spa balcony. So we were in an interior on the inaugural cruise, so it'll be interesting to be on a balcony and be able to see things go by. Right now there is about 10 of us, including Roxanne and her cousin Donna, Roxanne is the recipient of the Helping Hands for Cruising cruise. I think there's a couple of us, couple of cabins on the spa deck 11. There's a couple of cabins booked on the deck 7. And Roxanne has an aft view, or an aft ocean view on deck 2. So different perspectives on there. So they're thinking of booking. Those are 3 decks that we're booked on. So if you want to look into that, you're more than welcome to join us. I can drive to Florida, Canada, and even Alaska if it was crazy enough. The other thing, if you want to drive to Alaska, people got to remember, I know you got the open carry or concealed carry. That don't apply to Canada. You can't bring your pew-pews through Canada. They will turn you around at the border. If you don't believe me, watch a few episodes of, what is it? What's the channel I watch now? Nothing to Declare. And these people that have tried to travel from the United States to Alaska through Canada. And they've had parts of pew-pews, or they've even found ammo, and it's like, yep, bye-bye. No, you can't go through Canada. Because they'll rip your vehicle apart or your RV apart, looking to make sure you don't have anything else. You have about 8 hours in the flight, and you start thinking, can we get off there yet? Do not want to land and take off again and get to the final day yet. I definitely want to draw something like a red eye, so like, okay, let me fall asleep and sleep through the night, and only have to be awake for a few hours during the flight. But I don't think the longest flights, I don't know, 4 hours I've been, so I don't know. Won't be on any longer flight. I don't have to be looking for flights from, I'll probably fly out of Detroit down to Houston, probably. Don't know for sure yet. Be my first time to Texas, and the destinations are both in Mexico, so it'll be my first time to Mexico, and I'll be able to scratch. I have a world map that my daughter-in-law gave me last year for Christmas. I've been able to scratch off the various countries and stuff I've been to, or all the provinces across Canada except for Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, I've been able to scratch off 11 states and Cuba, Aruba, Bonaire, and the Dominican Republic. And that's as far as I've been able to go so far. I traveled a lot when I was involved in scouting with my mom because we'd go on staff at Canadian Jamborees. So I went to probably 3 of them in Alberta. We went to one in Ontario and then one in PEI. And we drove out there, PEI, so that we went through Quebec and New Brunswick, so I got to see a bit of that. But I would love to go East Coast because I do have a biological brother in Nova Scotia I would like to meet and get a chance to see Nova Scotia. Someday, hopefully, on the bucket list. It's amazing to meet you, Sean and Lana, on the Zoom. That's one of my highlights for this year. Also meeting my brother's girlfriend, too, and meeting her parents also. Yep. I didn't have as many highlights this year as I did in 2023, but I did get to meet a few more people, YouTube people that I didn't know at M23. So that was a good experience. And we went over the weekend before, so it was nice to have a nice, quiet, relaxing week. And then we got to watch as everybody came in. The trailers started coming in, or van lifers or whatever, to see the different rigs that people had. Or schoolie, Captain Jack Scrapper with his schoolie. Or did he have the schoolie? No, he had a van that time. It wasn't a schoolie that time. I'd have to go back and look at my videos. That would flight would end me, Sean. That's right. Danny D was the recipient of the Papa Mozo Award, and she's told us she got her certificate in the mail. So we want to see a picture, Danny, with your certificate. See your smiling face showing off your certificate. You were well deserved for that. You helped us out a lot with the Helping Hands. And that wasn't a highlight of last year, though, being added to the board of Helping Hands for Cruising. It's been an honor. And I thought, we have a meeting coming up Saturday, don't we? Means I have to get up early. I was up early this morning after a late night. Early this morning, I was ended up watching videos on the TV downstairs and dozed off. Woke up at 10. Thought, I'll get up in a few minutes. And next thing I know, it was 1 o'clock, and I was like, nope. I need to put a video together for my year-end review. I haven't had a chance to do that, so that was my afternoon, is putting that video together. Not the Saturday, next Saturday? Oh, perfect. Oh, right. Duh. This is still December. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, it's next Saturday. This is throwing me off with Christmas and New Year's being... I'm thinking they're on the weekend and they're not until like Monday. There's to be off with Christmas too, so. Well, I'm glad you had a nice visit with your brother and his girlfriend. Did you get any Lego for Christmas, Danny? I've seen a few different channels I follow got Lego for Christmas. The one kid got the Titanic, and he worked on bag number 1 for 4 hours, and he still wasn't done. Like, I can't imagine sitting that long. But I do know one of my cousin's kids, the one that's been over in Europe, their son Liam had got several of the bigger kits. I know he got the Death Star, and I don't know if he got the Titanic one. It was funny because when they were living in Romania, at one point, they had this really creepy looking room downstairs, and that's where he had all these shelves and he had all this stuff displayed on. But I don't know if that's still in her pictures or not. I'd have to go back and look. I got the Pac-Man one and the Up House. Cool. I almost bought my oldest Lego. I was sitting, I was like, okay, I've got everybody this many things, and it doesn't seem like I have enough things for my oldest. So I went a couple different places, and I ended up at Walmart. And I thought, I couldn't find anything I liked clothing wise, and I was on a budget, so it was like I knew how much I could spend, but I couldn't find anything clothing wise. Even like anything clearance was still out of my budget. I'm like, this is crazy. Well, even if I could find like a small Lego thing, but there wasn't any cool stuff in the small Lego, so I was like, I was truly tempted, but maybe I might do that for next year. Just find one of those little things through the year and then stick it in their stocking. Just something different. That's what I do. I like fun things, or well, my youngest got socks. I think they all got socks actually. It used to be like socks and underwear, and then I get a Terry's chocolate orange. But those things have got expensive. $6 for a small chocolate orange like that. Um, I do get the chocolate letters for their initial. That's still one thing I still do. They used to be $1, but they're still only like $2.50. So that's still in my budget. I used to buy them big things of wine gums, but those things got a little overpriced, so I got them each a small pouch of wine gums from the dollar store. But it's easier that way. If you go to the dollar store and snacks and a pair of socks or some gadgets or little toys or stuff. Hey, Moon over Miami, welcome in. Yeah, I haven't played with Lego in a long time because we donated all our Lego to um, our friends 2 buildings down because they have 2 boys, but they're all. The youngest boy, I think, is like 12 now, maybe 11, 12. The oldest boy is at late teens, but they like Lego, so rather than donating it to Goodwill or something like that, we gave it to them because they appreciate Legos. But I kind of miss it. I sit there, I used to sit with the boys, and even when they were teens before we moved, like we had one of those bins that goes under the bed. They're about this big, and maybe have wheels that roll underneath. And we had Lego in that, and even before we moved and gave it to them, the one night my oldest and my adopted son, I don't think my youngest was doing it, but my ultimate adopted son and I were sitting there and we were building things out of Lego and stuff. Played with the original ones called director sets. I didn't have Legos. I had dolls. I had Easy Bake Oven. What else? I had games. Which, when you're an only child, unless a friend comes over or your parents decide to play the games with you, it's not really all that fun. But what else? I'm trying to think what else I had. I think I got into a lot of craft stuff in that. Hello, Amy. How are you? Good to see you. I've kept a lot of stuff. I've shown you guys my stuffed monkey. He's up over here. I've got 2 of them, sock monkeys. One I had as a kid, and then one my youngest got me for Christmas one year that has a tattoo that says "Mom." I have my original teddy bear. Well, he's in the bin somewhere. I have a lot of books, kids' books still. They were mine, and then my kids had them. And so hopefully one day I have a grandkid to pass them on to, or I'm going to have to donate them somewhere. And I have multiple copies. I think I did 2 videos on 2 of the stories. I read them, but I don't think I've released them yet. And they were funny. One's called The Wonky Donkey, and the other one is I need a new bum. I don't know if I've released those. They're on video on my in my collection. I just don't know if I released them. I may, if I haven't already, I'll do it in the new year sometime. I need to do editing and get the last few LARP videos done. I've got some videos from when I was kitty sitting, those crazy cats. I got some on my phone from that to do as short, so I need to get those done. Yep. So I need a new bum. Mine's got a crack. I'll have to release it. I've seen videos of the Scottish lady reading the other one, the Wonky Donkey one, to her grandson, and her trying to get through this book without laughing because it's silly. But the new bum one is silly too. I don't think kids would take it the way we take it. Because I also had one that was called the Bare Naked book with my kids. It was like when they were young. It's like people would probably take offense to that one. I read that one, but I got all kinds of kids' books in that bin. There's another bin downstairs. I've got the Grinches here, and I think I have a few more Dr. Seuss ones behind me because I did a Dr. Seuss, or I did a Seuss trivia one night. Mine does too. It must be something wrong with the factory. Yep, could be. I'll have to look to see if I've released it. If not, I'll do that in the new year. What else have I got to do? I wanted to get video of the Christmas lights, but I haven't had a chance to go with somebody down to do the celebration lights. And I came by with my uncle yesterday, and there's a one arch that goes over the street, and it's supposed to say celebration of lights, and it just says of light. Celebration's out, and the TS on the end is out. It was like, I don't know, might not be worth it this year. Maybe next year. Hope for it. I did get the tree part of it, but the 2 times I was up with my one friend, when she was cleaning out her dad's apartment, both times we got out there, and just as we were starting to walk the dog, the lights went out. There are a couple around the corner here. I don't know if I'll get those or not. I've done some last year too, but trying to find some interesting stuff. Gotta find some interesting stuff to take the place of the LARP stuff for a while. Might be going down near Leamington in the next few weeks. Not sure when. With my group of local friends. No, the ones that are here and the ones that are down towards Windsor area. We haven't had a time to get together. We did in June. No, July. I was away in August. Stuff came up in September. I was away in September for 2 weekends, so that didn't happen. It was like, they won't do it without me, but or they won't do it without a single person in the group missing. And it's like, sometimes it happens, we can't all meet up. The closest we got is when her friend was cleaning out her dad's apartment, and her sister, her brother-in-law, me, and then the 2 guys from this area went out for dinner. We helped to clean out a bit, so that's the closest we got to getting together, but it wasn't the greatest occasion. We wanted to get together the weekend before Christmas. My one friend was busy, and that was his birthday, so that didn't happen. Christmas, New Year's, not going to happen. So, I don't know. We'll get together at some point. Hopefully the weather cooperates. So far, so good. The only thing we've had is rain and temperatures in the 40s and 50s. At least we don't have to shovel it. Didn't feel like Christmas, but at least we didn't have to shovel the snow and nobody was traveling in a blizzard. We did have a lot of fog over the last few days. Even going across the bridge, it was really foggy yesterday. And one girl I know and her daughter had gone to the Dominican to Punta Cana, and they were supposed to land in London, Ontario, not last night, the night before. And because of fog, they got diverted to Ottawa for the night. The airline had to put them up in hotels and all that stuff, and then they eventually got home sometime yesterday. But it was still kind of foggy yesterday. I was like, yeah, I don't know about traveling in fog. It was overcast when we came home from Miami, and we're landing in. Or we had the layover in LaGuardia in New York. I was disappointed on that one because I was looking forward to being able to see, Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, or maybe the Statue of Liberty, but nope. It was like overcast, and you were like, I would say probably maybe 100 feet or 50 to 100 feet, and all of a sudden we came out of the clouds and there was the ground down. And because they have to land harder on the pavement to make contact through the water to the tarmac, it was a bit of a rough landing. And then the takeoff, we were coming up, scud off, and then we kind of did a little of this, and it was back in the clouds again. And it was like, until we got above the clouds. Hello, Darren. How are you doing? Howdy to all in chat. Hope somebody's got to say it. You gotta say this. Say spaghetti ice, you gotta say fresh. It's been a quiet day today, like I said. So with all that yesterday, going to my cousin's, being stuck on the bridge, taking almost 3 hours to get over the bridge. I don't know, Busby. Traffic jam on the bridge, like there's 2 streets you can exit at before you get to the bridge, and they were backed up to the second one. And it was probably an hour for us to get to the toll booth to go over the bridge. At least hour and a half. Then going over the bridge. Then we were lined up at the customs booth on the other side. It was like, it was an adventure. One I don't care to do again. But like I said, apparently they had closed the bridge because there was an earthquake, 15, 20 minutes away. A 2.5? But better safe than sorry, I guess. They're not suspension bridges. They're one's a cantilever bridge, and I forget what the other one is. Yeah, customs can be an all-day thing. I thought they would be a little faster putting people through just to get the bridge clear, but like I think I've told the story before I went back to my main name. Twice I went over the bridge, and because they were looking for a Michael Smith, and my name was Michael Ann Smith, it flagged my passport. So then they have to take you inside to clear you. But because the Michael Smith they were looking for was apparently armed and dangerous, it was the whole put your hands on the wheel, turn off your ignition, put your keys out the window, drop them. Okay, now reach out and open the door from the outside. And now get out with your hands behind you or over your head, and then they back you up. And That's the only time I've been in handcuffs, twice. It was not a good experience. And then I kind of glanced over my shoulder, and there's these guys with their weapons drawn, and I'm like, what the heck? And they take you in. But the second time it happened, the guys said, oh, I knew it wasn't you. You're not a big black guy that armed and dangerous. Obviously, but why do you have to have your guns pointed at me? I obviously don't have enough firearm on me. But I didn't go back over the bridge until I had my ID and my maiden name. So it was an experience. I was talking to my uncle about that, and he couldn't believe it. And it's like, well, believe it, because your granddaughter and your great nephew were with me. Darren talking about down at the cruisers. What did I do to deserve the honor? You're Aussie. Met an Aussie today. She's from Melbourne. She married a Yank. Met an Aussie today. She's from Melbourne. No, just say that. My youngest married a Yank. My dad married a Yank. My mother was American. She was born in Detroit, but came across when she was 3 or 4. She was 4. Her brother was 3. Her brother eventually did take up Canadian citizenship. My mother never did. And they didn't give her a landed immigrant or permanent residence card back then. They gave her a legal-sized document so she folded it all up into a little square about yay big. And when they give her hassle at the border, she handed that to them, and they would open it up. And by the time they got it all opened up, they would just throw it back at her. And my oldest met my daughter-in-law online. She's originally from Ohio, I believe, and lived in West Virginia for a while, and back in Ohio. And then she was down near Detroit before she moved to Canada. She took about a year, almost a year, before she got the interviews and all the paperwork and the fees and that before she got her permanent residency. But she has a card, but apparently they have to redo that every so often. I didn't know that. I was laughing though going across the bridge because a couple of my friends here, that when we go down to visit my other friend, we were like, you should get your Nexus card. And I think I talked about this before. You should get your Nexus card. Even the Nexus, the people who have the Nexus card, they couldn't until they got and you don't use that until you get across. Until they got far enough across the bridge to get the Nexus lane to get to so they weren't getting it ahead any further. They were still waiting, 1 hour and a half to get over the bridge as well. And I was trying to think the other day, I thought of easier way to grab the Nexus card. It was like having a Nexus card to go through the customs is almost like having what is it when you go to the airport? The pre-check. It's like you're already pre-screened, so you just have to kind of do a little flash as you go through, and that's it. Yeah, the TSA pre-check. So I kind of think that's kind of what I could equate it to. Like, you don't get the hassle like you do if you go through regular screening at the airport. If you're going through regular screening or customs, you get all the questions, whereas you've already been pre-checked on your Nexus and you've been interviewed and had the whole police check thing and all that, so they already kind of, okay, you scan your card and keep going. But I don't know. $50 for a Nexus card, and if I did it now, it would. Well, if I had it done this year, it would come due in 2028, the same year was my passport, and the same year as my driver's license. But my passport, I was looking, comes due in February 2028, so I will have to look into that before it expires in 2028. Look at it before the end of 2027 probably and reapply. That's right, Busby. After 9/11, everything changed for sure. I did watch an interesting, what's the guy's name now? I think his name's Trevor as well, or Tyler. I'd have to look it up. He does. He does on the average American blah blah blah, and he comments on different things. Like sometimes he'll do Canadian snacks or talk about different Canadian things. And he was he did a 3-part series talking about Operation Yellow Ribbon after 9/11, where one what was going on, then they shut down the airports to international flights coming in, and 175, I think, planes were diverted to Newfoundland, and a good part of those were in Gander, Newfoundland, and those was a little town of 10,000 people suddenly was a town of like 17,000 because it was like 7,000 extra people came in, and this guy like had no clue about what had gone on. It's like everybody was wrapping up the bad stuff of 9/11, but they didn't know what was happening to all these other people that were on their way. If they were more than halfway coming from Europe, they were landed on the East Coast. If they were less than halfway, they were diverted back to wherever they departed from in Europe. But it was interesting for him commenting on the documentary. We should go find the documentary. But the guy that was mayor of the town of Gander is still mayor of the town, and they did the documentary. It was Tom Sawyer did the documentary. And then there was one couple that landed in Gander that their son was a New York firefighter, and they wouldn't leave the building they were in. They would walk over to the church and pray, and then come right back to where the building they were staying in, because they were afraid they'd miss a phone call. But unfortunately, their son passed in the collapse of the Twin Towers. But it was a very opening experience to watch this guy realizing what other things that happened outside of New York and Pentagon and all that stuff. All I remember that day is I had dropped my mom and I had dropped off my youngest at daycare, and I was having surgery that day. So it was sitting in the waiting room before my surgery. Well, we were coming on the way to the hospital. We had heard that the one tower got hit. By the time we got to the hospital and got checked in, watching it, we seen the second tower get hit, and I seen both towers collapse, and then I had to go to surgery. So it was like I was scared and afraid for what might happen while I was under. What's good? It was scary because it was like, what's going on? What are my kids going to be safe? Is it something else going to happen in the world? Is it just that area? It was a day for sure. But learned a lot since then, and a lot of things changed. Just security, not only for the airports, to go on cruise lines, you're screened to go in there, go through all kinds of stuff. Your luggage is all screened. I watched one on La Vida Loca. One for Christmas, these people, it was a, I don't know which cruise line it was, but the parents were upset because they confiscated a Nerf gun that they had bought for their 8-year-old for Christmas. And it's like, if you had read the things you cannot bring on the thing is you cannot bring weapons. Like, you can't bring weed, you can't bring this, you can't bring irons or heat things. You can't bring weapons or any replica of. And this Nerf gun looked like a semi-automatic gun. So, and who's going to bring a Nerf gun on the ship where the kid could fire darts at the people? Like, that's just not a thing you bring on a. Yeah, Amy said she saw that when it was posted on John Heald's page. Yeah, I was just shaking my head like, why? It's not a toy you bring on a cruise ship. Can you do anything with a background check? Not pretty much. But even coming across the border, like, since then, everything was a lot tighter. That and the drugs they try to smuggle across there. It's amazing that when I see on our police Facebook page and the things that get confiscated and big drug busts where they have thousands to millions of dollars of stuff that of a transport or something. Like, are you stupid? You're gonna get caught. Living in Tampa. Yeah, I wish. Part of me wishes I could be like my grandparents. They were snowbirds. They would leave Boxing Day, the day after Christmas, and they had a trailer down in Lakeland, Florida. And then they would come back the beginning of April, around Easter, give or take. But it was like, if Snowbird could do that, I would be going down, staying somewhere in Florida, close to a cruise port, so I could go off and go here, then maybe go to another one, go off and go there. I probably wouldn't be in the, if I had that kind of, well, my grandfather did had money too, but that would be kind of cool to have good snowbird, and then you could take off from your different places. And know Lakeland, Florida very well. You know the sad thing? I never got down there. All the time that they lived in the trailer down there, always got they've always brought us kids back stuff. They sent us postcards. They brought back oranges back then when they could bring that kind of stuff back across the border. Oranges and grapefruits. But I never got to Florida. No time I ever tried to go back. And now Boxing Day, everything's open. So the big sales is almost like, sort of like Black Friday. A bunch of big sales of the stuff they had in stock for Christmas that didn't get sold, plus all the clearance on all the Christmas decorations and stuff. I'm thinking the Christmas tree I have now, I bought, I think it was a Boxing Day sale at one of the big box stores. It's a nice pre-lit Christmas tree. It has two different, well, it does colored lights, clear lights, or goes back and forth between the two, and it's like, I paid less than $200 for it. Now some of those trees are like $500 and uppers. I was watching videos of the ones on from Costco that were like $900. I'm not paying $1,000 for a Christmas tree. That's nuts. Even the cost of the people, some people are paying for cutting down a tree. I like the tree I got. It'll do me for several years. If the lights conk out, you can always buy lights and put it in the tree. It's not falling apart. It's not dropping its needles. The only closest South Dakota, it really doesn't cross the southern border of Canada, and going south of the U.S. is going to Cuba, Aruba, Bonaire, and Dominican. Oh, home settling now, laying down. I hope you feel better, Amy. Hope whatever they gave you helps you feel better. And now you have to prove you're human and all kinds of stuff. It was hard enough to believe my parents the first time. Well, you never know what you're going to get with a customs officer either. Going across, like, we came back and she was kind of the second time we've had kind of a snotty person. One was going across with me and Steve in the fall. But the guy that did the, it's like, okay, well, you just, where are you from? Or Canada. Where are you going? We're going here. How long are you going to be there? Or how long have we gone yesterday? I don't know, about 9 hours. Did you bring anything back? No. Well, didn't buy anything. Technically did bring things back. My cousin had some games. One was like the past the present thing. And I had a box of these sugar babies and a box of, there were a Twizzler, something or other. And my cousin, her brother, stole them from me. So, and I stole something from somebody else, and then I ended up taking one from the new pile and ended up with sugar babies. Which I thought were chocolate, but that turned out more like a jelly bean. And then at the end, she gave us each a tin and a Christmas card. It's got a couple of baked goods in it. That's what another past present one I got was I got a Snowman Pez dispenser with some refills. So it was interesting, but we didn't do any shopping. The only thing we bought, well, my cousin bought me dinner at Texas Steakhouse. I think it was Texas Roadhouse. Yeah. But it was like we were sitting there when we were just about wanting to leave. My cousin went next door to see, or called next door to Red Lobster to see if they were packed too, and it was like, oh. But she goes, the next year we'll maybe do Bob Evans. I was like, I would have rather done Bob Evans in the first place because that's where me and Stephen and I have gone twice, and twice in a week. Yeah, when we went over to camp before M23, we went to Bob Evans, and then when we came back, we decided to stop for dinner back before we came across the border, and we had Bob Evans again. I had the exact same meal I did going over. No, you're not the only one there, Busby. There's a few lurkers, but probably going to wrap it up soon. Yeah, I don't know if I don't have the kids over New Year's Eve, but I might do a pop-up live. Or if I do something for dinner on Sunday, maybe I'll do a pop-up. I don't know. Have to see what the weekend brings. Get paid tomorrow. Get some groceries or stuff. Glad you caught me live. I'm glad you did too, Darren. I never know what to say properly. Is it Darren? Darian. Everybody calls you both. But I always miss because of my schedule. I had quite a few up on, what night was it? On Christmas Day. Or later Christmas night after dinner and that we had you answer to all. Okay. And everyone not far away. We'll see you working on your stuff to get back into YouTube in there, Busby. Busby got a nice ring light for Christmas. He'll get his YouTube room set up eventually. Then we won't be able to stop him. And Busby's doing the carnivore diet. Day 2. Good for you, Busby. I don't know if I could do carnivore, but I would like to go back to do keto. But gotta get cooperation around here on the groceries. After the wintertime, maybe. Oh, you did a little bit on a video on your carnivore thing, so little bits of that or whatever's going on. You never know. Just throw some shorts in there to keep your channel busy. And when you're ready to come back, we'll be ready. But I'm getting hungry. Carnivore is hard. When I did keto, it was closer to that because I wasn't doing any root vegetables. You do a lot of cheese and eggs, and my sweet treat was right next to where I worked in the doctor's office. We did for a while have this lady had was kind of a little bit of a cafe, but also kind of a little store, and she sold a lot of stuff that was keto friendly, and she would do these little fat bombs, which were made of cream cheese and different flavors and stuff. They were really good, and I would if I wanted a sweet treat, I would take one of these because I kept them in the freezer, and I would cut them in 4, and I would just take a quarter of it, and that would be my out, and I was fine. And then once I got into it, I didn't crave the sweet stuff at all. I drank straight water because you can drink coffee or diet pop on keto, but I don't drink anything with aspartame. So I drank water. I did vegetables, no carb-related vegetables, no root vegetables, and just pretty much was vegetables and meat or, meat substitutes, but doing the eggs and the meats and cheeses. The only problem I found is my digestion got a little sluggish. Then I realized you can have berries on keto, so I added those in. So that gave some fruit, some fiber, and I did well. I started February 1st, 2019, because I was swore I wasn't going to start at the beginning of January because you have all the baked goods left from Christmas. So I started February 1st. By April, when I went to Cuba, I had already dropped almost 25 pounds. And I got to almost 30 pounds down. And then I plateaued and I got a little discouraged. And then I added a few more things that I probably shouldn't have. And then I was doing like a more lazy keto. And then I just I kind of sort of gave up, but I was maintaining. I put a few pounds on, but then I was maintaining there. And then crap happened and life happened. And, with being bored when you're locked down in 2020 for something to do, my son and I would get stuff and we'd experiment with new recipes. And of course, put stuff back on. But one of these days, I want to get back into it. Can't have much but meats, butter, pretty much. You can do eggs and you can do cheeses, I think. drink unsweetened tea because I can't do straight water. I'm not into unsweetened tea. Started 2 days after the cruise we were on. 62 pounds. That's awesome. I need to do something before the seltzer water. Or wondering like the Zevia. No, there's got plant based in the Zevia. It can't be anything to do with plants in the carnivore. If I remember right. But I want to get down because I got clothes that I want to wear on the cruise in October. So hopefully by the 1st of February I'll get my back together. I'll have all my snacks gone. Oh, I have one row of mint gluten-free cookies from Amy left. And that'll be the end of those snacks. Then I have some other crackers. I bought some Rice crackers. But maybe February 1st set a goal of getting back in the groove and eating healthy. Get out walking the dog. Because he's getting fat down his lower belly towards the groin area. And it's like, I think it's nothing more than he's not getting enough exercise either. So like we both need to get out and walk more. Because they're both getting kind of lazy. Used to be I'd take them out and I'd walk them all the way down to the corner and all the way back. Now I just walk out here around front, back and forth a couple times, and that's not getting either one of us exercise. So maybe that'll be goal starting February 1st. Of course, that'll be when the snow decides to hit too, more than likely. But I got stuff for his paws to protect his paws. But oops, sorry. I wanted me to shake. I have a plan for February 1st. I know last year I was doing my refocus things, and those kind of went by the wayside, but maybe I need to plan for February 1st. Let's get at her. Don't drink a lot of stuff. Stay hydrated. So I know I got lazy too because I used to drink as long as I was ice water, I was good, and then I made the mistake of trying the liquid Crystal Light, and I forget what it has in it. I have some in here. Excuse me. Get things in my way. I know I have one in here. But I don't drink a lot. I don't put a lot of it in. What is the sweetener in this? I look forward to meeting you again too, Aaron. You're gonna have to come on a cruise or something. Where is it? Sucralose. But it's like the second last ingredient on there. No, I don't do aspartame, Busby. I used to live off of Diet Coke. I used to be addicted to Diet Coke for decades. Like even when I was pregnant, I didn't smoke, I didn't drink, I didn't do any drugs. I just had my addiction to Diet Coke. So with caffeine, that was the only thing and the aspartame. And then 10 years ago in September, or leading up to that, I was feeling like I didn't know whether I was getting MS or I was getting fibro or something. I was brain fog. My body hurt all over. It was just all kinds of weird symptoms. And then I don't know why, but I had run out of Diet Coke and I was out getting groceries and I looked at it on the shelf and I thought I just made a decision. It was like, I'm gonna try going for a while without it. And after a week I noticed a bit of a difference, and within a month it was like a tremendous difference. And I was like, I went looking at it, and it's like a lot of stuff was the same symptoms as aspartame poisoning, and I was like, nope, I won't touch aspartame. I have accidentally a couple times, because don't let them kid you. All these sugar-free drinks. Okay, it's not diet. This it's zero sugar. This it's still aspartame. I was really thirsty when we were over in Michigan, and I grabbed a Mountain Dew Zero because I hadn't tried Mountain Dew Zero to see whether I liked it or not. And without looking, I opened it and I drank about a third of it, and I put the lid back on and looked at it, and it was aspartame. I was like, not drinking any more of that. Drink 2 liters. I'd probably go through 6 cans. I would go through at least a couple cases a week. And when I I got off of the cans and I got onto drinking the bottles, and I could make it last longer if I did that. I would make it last a day or two, but I got, nope. I don't drink soda that often. I had a regular root beer yesterday, and before that, I had a little bit of cola on Christmas Day. My oldest had brought a 2-liter cola in, and after I'd eaten so much dinner, I was full. I had this much cola just to make me burp, to relieve some of the pressure. But I was like, if I drink any pop, I know Mountain Dew's not good for you, but I'll have like one every couple of weeks. I'm not sitting there pounding them back like I used to. So it was like I used to buy 6-pack at a time, but I could make it a 6-pack of the Mountain Dew bottles last a week, because I would drink out of the bottle and then I could make a bottle last a day or so. No, I don't buy it. If I buy a single one when I go to the dollar store, if they have it, there's times I have a craving for it. I get to the dollar store, it's like they don't have any Mountain Dew. I went to the $1 store, Dollar Tree. They don't have Mountain Dew products or Pepsi products. They have Coke products. They didn't have any decent stuff there. I ended up having a Canada Dry ginger ale. That's about the other one I have. But if I don't even have one pop a week usually. It's every couple, 3 weeks. I have my water bottle. I fill it with water. I like it ice cold, and I put a small squirt of Crystal Light in just for flavor, and that's it. I don't drink coffee. I rarely drink tea. I did have an Arnold Palmer yesterday at Texas Roadhouse with sweet tea, but last time I had one of those is when I was across with B and Steve in the fall. Ginger ale, now you're talking. I gotta say, I prefer Canada Dry ginger ale. I was helping my friend clean her dad's apartment, and there was a couple of the mini cans of Schweppes. It wasn't bad, but I prefer Canada Dry. But yeah, I did. I would like that to get back to keto because that worked for me. And I started keto with a 24-hour fast, just water. And until towards the end, and then I had a little bit of chicken broth. But that helps kickstart the ketosis. And then I stuck to most things that were on the keto diet. I sat, and I don't know what happened to I used to have a green Bristol wort about this big, and a bright orange one, and one was like, the green was go and the orange was stop. The stuff you couldn't have and the stuff you could have on the green one. So Oh no, Amy. She can lay beside you, not on you. That will be painful. Now we lost 3 people. Yeah. So it's time to wind it down. If anybody wants to come backstage and chat that has the link, they're more than welcome. Otherwise, I'm just shutting it down and maybe it'll pop up on the weekend. If I don't talk to anybody before then, Happy New Year, everyone. Take care of yourselves. And we'll see you next year.